Everyone, I'm recording this video for the sake of teacher education and development and for the Cell of Dakar Plateau. I have already made the presentation this morning and I just thought very useful maybe to have a screen recording of my slides and share with all of the colleagues who could not just attend the presentation this morning. So I'm using a screen capture software, it's one of the ones that I presented this morning, and the one I'm using is a QuickTime Player on MacBook. So if you have a MacBook, you can use QuickTime Player to record your presentations slides if you want. So this is what I'm using. So presentation, the recording has already started. So as you can see, my presentation was about flipping the classroom, and then I started with a warm up, with a warm up, and then the attenders had to look at the following picture and try to see how many people they can recognize in 10 minutes. It was really fun, and it's very interesting to use warm-ups just before the presentation, before getting the ball rolling. So they had a look at the picture and they had to recognize as many people as possible, and it was very fun. We recognized so many popular people, scientists, politicians, musicians, and etc. And I think we can think about ways of using pictures, these kind of pictures in the classroom, just to trigger speaking activities and to engage our learners at the same time. So as I said, my presentation was about flipping the classroom, the EFL classroom with portable devices. The flipped classroom approach is really interesting, a new approach, and I'm interested in the topic because this was the topic of my dissertation when I was undertaking the MA in English language teaching at the University of Warwick in Coventry in the UK two years ago. So I focused my research on how we could flip the ESL classroom in the Senegalese context. I also focused on the limitations and the benefits and the feasibility of the new approach. So with portable devices, because nowadays we have a variety of portable devices, not only mobile phones but iPads and any device that can that learners can use to visualize, videos and record voices and show photos at the same time. So the presentation is going to be in 4 parts. About the flipped classroom first, we're going to share the origin and the definition of the flipped classroom to give some insights about it. And then we have the pedagogical underpinnings, trying to create a dialogue between the literature and the pedagogy and the new approach. And also we also had a let's flip. I just showed a video where the colleagues and the attenders, we tried to see what activities we could design to have a successful flipped classroom. And then I also shared 2 really free recording tools. This is the one I'm using here now, and the other one called Screencast-O-Matic that can be used to record our presentations and share. So first, the origin of the flipped classroom. In 2007, 2 teachers of chemistry known as Jonathan Bergsmans and Aaron Sams, commonly called Bergmans and Sams, they taught at Woodland Park High School in Colorado, and then they started something very innovative. They started sharing their recorded lectures online because they realized that so many of the learners couldn't attend the classes, so they started recording their lectures and sharing them online. They used screen capture softwares just like the one I'm using now. They made PowerPoint slides to explain the lesson, chemistry lessons, and they shared them on YouTube. But the result was really funny because not only students who missed the classes watched the videos, but even learners who attended the classes started watching the videos. They find them very useful, and they even gave a positive feedback. That's why all of the videos went viral in the US. Many schools, many learners, and even teachers started watching the videos for the sake of revision and etc. So this is how the idea of the flipped classroom came about. They started flipping the classroom, and the method was replicated in many contexts and subject matters. That's how even it was used now. It's being used everywhere you go in English language teaching. So what's the flipped classroom? We had a look at this, and we tried to fill in the gaps, but we can skip this one. In essence, flipping the classroom means that students gain first exposure to the materials outside of the class, usually via reading or lecture videos, and then use class time to do the hard work of assimilating that knowledge, perhaps through problem solving discussions or debates. We will see later how we can explain to make it very clear. But in essence, it's very easy to understand. You try to expose the learners to the new materials, to the lesson content at home, and then this will allow you to free the class time for more interactive activities with problem solving discussions and debates and etc. Does it ring a bell? I'm sure, because you might not be familiar with the term flipped classroom, but I'm sure that maybe some of you have already flipped the classroom I mean, unknowingly, because as I already explained, it's very simple. And there is not only one way of flipping your class, so it's up to you to see what are the best ways to do it. And maybe understanding the flipped classroom, we need to have a look at the traditional classroom. In the traditional classroom, we all agree that the new lesson is presented in class, and how long does it take? It depends on the lesson we're presenting. If it is a grammar lesson or vocabulary or reading comprehension, it depends. And this means that we won't have enough time, I mean, to help our learners assimilate the received knowledge. So we have limited time because we have only 2 hours of English for the class and 4 hours of English a week, which is not enough for all of the activities we want to implement. So what do we do most of the time? If you don't finish the task, we ask our learners to do it as a homework. And doing this as homework means that they will have to work on it alone without the presence of the teacher. Whereas in the flipped classroom, this lesson content is viewed at home, and as a result, the class time is freed for more interactive activities like problem solving. So you have enough time, to engage your learners in more interactive and real life situation classes. So this is how it came to be. Sorry, my battery is going low, but I'm just going to cut the presentation so that I can upload it on the WhatsApp group. So and then if the class time is freed, we have time to finish all of the activities, and student can even extend the learning by doing some project works. So if we recapitulate, we can say that in the flipped classroom, the new content or the lesson content is viewed at home, and this allows the class time to be maximized. Sorry, and if the class time is maximized, so this is the occasion for the teacher to work as a facilitator and as a scaffold, and learners also can use their peers as learning tools at the same time. So they will benefit from the presence of their peers and the teacher at the same time, whenever they have questions or for interactions and etc. So in essence, this is what the flipped classroom is all about. So maybe I will have to stop the recording now, and then maybe finish the second part later. Inshallah.